Halo Infinite's new fall update is finally here, bringing a brand new operation pass, giving you 20 tiers of free rewards and 50 if you buy the premium version, alongside of course new cosmetics on the store, expanded customization in the weapons bench, allowing you to apply coatings to even more weapons, some new game modes in the form of famished Falcons, and Banished Slayer, and of course the highlights, the stars of this update, the Vestige Carbine and the Falcon. There is also some updates to Ranked, in the form of some new map additions. There's been some balance changes for certain weapons such as the Hydra launcher, which has seen some noticeable buffs, and there's some cool updates to Forge. So anyways, with it all out of the way, let's jump straight in. So first things first, let's talk about Vestige Carbine. Now this is definitely one of the most exciting additions for me, as the Carbine is one of my favourite weapons in the series. The Vestige is another weapon hybrid akin to the MA5K and the Fuel Rod Spanker, and by that I of course mean that although it is a completely new gun that has a new function and will play differently to anything else that is currently in the game, it does reuse animations from another weapon, in this case being the shock rifle. I've explained this over and over again at this point, but I will go over it again. Infinite's team is much smaller right now, as most of Halo Studios work on new games, which is why most of the new weapons, with the exception of the Mutilator, are reusing animations from other guns, but personally I don't mind it, as it means we are getting new Sandbox Additions, new updates for the game, while we wait for the next Halo title, and really that's just not something I can find in me to complain about. The Vestige does look pretty nice. Its silhouette is very reminiscent of the Carbine. You can see some of that shock rifle in there, but as a whole the weapon looks pretty cool. And it is also customizable, which is really nice. And while we're at the weapons bench, it is worth noting that there is even more weapons that you can customize now. I believe 10 were added with this update. You can now customize the Mangler, Stalker Rifle, Pulse Carbine, Cinder Shot, Vestige Carbine, Gravity Hammer, Sentinel Beam, Disruptor, Plasma Pistol, and the Ravager. For me, this is especially cool because 1, I like customization anyway, but 2, I can definitely see uses for this for machinimas. It'll also be nice to make all of my banished weapons look banished. Of course, the banished are scavengers. It makes sense why some of their weapons look like Covenant gear, like the Pulse Carbine and now the Vestige Carbine. It's things that they would have stolen from the Covenant or the Swords of St. Helios. But having that option to make them look banished, I just think is really nice. And of course, that brings us to our other new addition to the sandbox, the Falcon, which is definitely the most hyped addition for this content update. The Falcon has been requested for quite some time. The fact that it's only appeared in Halo Reach is crazy to me, as it is an incredibly cool vehicle and is really nice seeing it now available in Halo Infinite. It has 2 different turrets on both sides, one of which being a grenade launcher, which is really cool, and the other being a chain gun, very similar to the one that George has in Halo Reach. There is also 2 regular passenger seats, which means you can seat 5 people in this vehicle. The only thing that's really disappointing about this to me is the fact that you cannot switch seats from the driver's seat, nor can you switch into the driver's seat, which I think would have been really cool. I would have loved some little animation where the Spartan crawls around it like Spider-Man in order to get into the cockpit. But 2 other things I'd like to see in regards to the Falcon is 1, I really want it to be customizable, alongside the rest of the banished vehicles, of course, as none of them can be customized yet. But I think it would also be really cool if both of the weapons from the Falcon were added as mounted turrets, or at least turrets we can place on maps in Forge. I think both of these are really cool, so hopefully that's something that Halo Studios thinks about. Both of these Sandbox Additions do have modes that highlight them, one of which is Banished Slayer. This is a team of Banished versus the UNSC. If you're on the Banished team, you have the Vestige Carbine, and if you're on the UNSC, you have the Bandit Evo. Aside from that, it is basically just Slayer, but both teams have different starting weapons, and I think that's really cool. I'm looking forward to giving that one a go, especially because it highlights the Carbine. And then, of course, we have Famished Falcons, which is 4 teams with 1 Falcon, and they have to try and capture the flag that is in the middle of the map. This sounds like it's going to be an incredibly fun party mode, so this is another one that I'm really looking forward to trying. Anyways, let's move over to the store. Now, I won't be talking about any of the returning items, so our first new bundle is Headhunter Command. This is made up of some of the items that were available in the last major operation pass, as you can get the Scarred Comet armor set, as well as Commander Agreena's armor kit, the Carbon Fighter armor coating, the Slipstream Void visor, the Chibi Din weapon charm, and the Lorette emblem. This bundle costs 2,200 credits, which personally for an armor set and an armor kit, I don't think that's too bad. That's basically 1,200 for the armor set and an additional 1,000 for the kit, and I think this is fine. Given we've had armor kits that have been on the store for 2,200 on their own, this really doesn't seem like that bad of a deal. I believe getting Agreena's kit does also give you access to her coating and visor, but it doesn't show that in the bundle, but it also didn't when this kit was a purchase bonus in an operation pass. Now moving on to the completely new stuff, we have the Legacy of Rucked weapon set. This bundle costs 2,500 credits and gives you 4 weapon models alongside 2 weapon coatings. You get the Vicious Heatwave, which is of course a banished variant of the Heatwave, and this looks really cool. The Even Hand weapon model for the Mutilator, which makes it look like Atriox's mace, and this is amazing. This is one of the best weapon models in the game. You also have the Vicious Needler, which is a more banished version of the Needler. The Brutish Carapace weapon coating. The Mutilator of Rucked weapon model, which makes it look like Tartarus's gavel, and then you have the Burnished Legacy weapon coating. 2,500, I will admit, seems pretty steep for what you're getting here. This is really cool, but I can't use both of those Mutilator weapon models at the same time. Fortunately though, you do have the option to buy all of these on their own. The Vicious Heatwave is 600, Even Hand is 800, the Mutilator of Rucked is 1,000, but that does give you the model and the coating, and that also applies to the Vicious Needler, which is also 1,000 credits and gives you the weapon model and the coating. This is probably the most tempting for me because I really like that banished weapon coating, but the Even Hand weapon model is also really nice. I do think the prices on all of these are a little bit steep, mostly given we have been getting weapon models in almost every operation now for 500 credits each. Though I do understand that the prices of the shop and the prices of the operations and battle passes are never really the same. Still though, once again, I think the art team has absolutely cooked. We then have the Emerald Nightmare armor set. This one is mostly centered around the Rakshasa core. You get the Firbolg helmet alongside its FCI X ICO helmet attachment, which reminds me very much of Splinter Cell. It's a really nice helmet attachment. It also comes with its own chest piece, shoulder pads, a utility piece, wrist attachment, knee pads, the Fangwood armor coating, which is another nice camo one, but I do think it's just a bit too similar to some of the other woodland camos we have in game already. And then you get the Veiled Threat weapon model for the S7, which is a really nice ghillie-esque sniper weapon model, and that also comes with the Green Death weapon coating. This bundle is 2,000 credits. I don't think it's the worst offer in the game, but again, I do believe the armor set should have stayed at 1,200 credits. I think if this was maybe 1,600, 1,800 at a push, then I'd probably consider picking it up, but this one will likely be a skip from me. We then have one more armor set, this time the Rectified Hero, which is a set for Chimera. It gives you the Rectifier helmet alongside the Sovereign Adaptation helmet attachment, the Corrective Protocol chest attachment, the Observation Augmenter shoulder pads, the Continuity Imprint utility piece, the Red Wall plugin wrist attachment, the Series 10-2 knee pads, the Black Ice legendary armor coating, which is pretty nice, the Sidekick Black Jacket weapon model, and the Black Whisper weapon coating. I think the weapon model, again, is probably my favorite item in this bundle. It's really nice. It almost reminds me of a stapler. But again, this bundle costs 2,000 credits, so just to repeat the same thing I said about the last bundle, this is just a bit too steep for me. But you can get both of these armor sets in the Machine War Super Bundle, which costs 3,200 credits, gives you all of the items from both of those bundles, alongside the State Collapse Kill effect. This of course is significantly better as far as the overall value, but 3,200 credits is quite a bit of money. So for me, a lot of this is personally a bit too much, but again, I have to admit, some of this armor is really cool. My favorite things available on the shop right now, I've already said it, are the weapon models. They look amazing. But with that, let's move over to the exchange. We have some returning items from one of the Chimera events. We have a ton of Chimera themed items from the first Firewall event. So things like the Mero helmet have returned. The OPI promo coating is also available on the exchange, which is pretty cool to see. And the SecOps armor set has made its way to the exchange too. So if you missed out on either of these events, there is quite a lot for you to unlock today. As for people that have all of this, there is 2 new coatings and a new utility piece. The utility piece is for Mirage. It's this really snazzy belt attachment. We also have the Final Test Cycle weapon coating, which is this scuffed black weapon coating. And then we have the Midnight Whisper armor coating, which is like a shiny navy blue. Both of these cost 20,000 spawn points each, with the utility piece costing 9,000. Though I do believe it's worth mentioning, before you spend anything, Hayabusa will be returning to the exchange soon for another month. So if you haven't already unlocked that, maybe consider saving your points. We are not quite done with the shop stuff just yet though, as there is some brand new HCS bundles. Cloud9, Complexity, Optic, FaZe, and SSG all have new launch bundles, which give you the Reap X shock rifle model and the respective coating for each one. Shopify also have their own bundle, but theirs contains a bit more, as you get the weapon model, the weapon coating, and an armor coating alongside the Shopify emblem. TSM are also a newcomer, again having their own weapon coating and armor coating, with their coating being the burnt ash skin, which I believe has been in the files for quite some time. All these bundles cost 1,000 credits each, except for the Shopify and TSM bundles, which cost 1,500, which is understandable as their bundles contain more items. As far as whether or not I think these are worth it, I think in regards to the HCS stuff, it's entirely dependent on how much you want to support your favorite team. The new Operation Pass is also here, and it contains a utility piece called Util Magpie. This must mean it's a reference to me. Currently, it's not letting me purchase the premium pass, but you do get access to a weapon model for the MA5K, alongside a visor, weapon coating, and weapon charm, and the premium version costs 1,000 credits. The free armor set is the Whisper set for the Mirage Core, which is pretty cool. It looks like some pilot armor. You do also unlock a set for Rick's chassis, which has a pretty nice scarf attachment. There's also the Obsidian Mutilator weapon model. This looks amazing. Genuinely reminds me of something from Gears of War. We have the Fire Serpent armor set, alongside its Eagle Aspect helmet attachment. This is the Charon Snare weapon model for the battle rifle. And then the final armor set in this pass is Aristos, which is a set for Chimera. The helmet itself reminds me of the Newborn from the Alien franchise, but it does have a helmet attachment which makes it look like a Promethean Knight. Decent pass overall. The main thing I'm after is that weapon model. And of course, again, 1,000 credits to get permanent access to this 50 tier pass. You get 4 armor sets, multiple weapon models, as well as a variety of other things. This one is definitely worth it. And with that, I believe we have gone over pretty much everything. I did speak a bit more in detail about things like the lore behind the Vestige Carbine, the new ranked maps and Forge updates in my video yesterday. But anyways, on that note, I think it's time to wrap this one up. I will be streaming the new updates pretty much as soon as I've got the shop video out, so it would be really nice to see some of you stop by. I'll be hosting a little bit of a game night. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the new update, and I will catch you all in the next one.